Former Undersecretary of Defense and former Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Secretary Robert Wilkie, is here with some insight. Good to see you as always, sir.
Good to see you, Bianca.
You know, Kamala came out yesterday, and some say she was trying to have this bin Laden moment, doing these, prepared statements. But this is exactly what she said about going into Rafah. Israel didn't listen, apparently a good thing. This was her in March.
We have been clear in multiple conversations and in every way that any major military operation in Rafah would be a huge mistake. Let me tell you something. I have studied the maps. There's nowhere for those folks to go. It would be a mistake to move into Rafah with any type of military operation.
Clearly a calculated move and not a mistake if you're looking at it from the minds of many here today.
Oh, absolutely. It's an indictment of the Harris-Biden foreign policy. And I'll just echo what the National Review said yesterday. It is a moral disgrace. What this is posturing for the weeks before the election. They just sent a letter to Netanyahu demanding that he put more aid, humanitarian aid, into Gaza or face an American arms embargo. Well, let me tell you what happened to the last aid convoy that hit Gaza. Of the 100 trucks, we know that 47 of those trucks were commandeered by Hamas. This is the Biden-Harris lifeline to the Hamas terrorists. And the other thing they're demanding is that the Israelis cooperate with UNRWA, the UN Relief Works Agency, which every one of us knows has been the cover for Hamas terrorism for decades.
I'm glad you went there.
Their work,
Yeah. Well, in fact, an UNRWA teacher's ID found on Sinwar's body when he was carried out. Now, they don't know if it's a real document, but we do know that there were real cases of people who were teachers who were harboring hostages. And the money they get, not just from, the multiple countries around the world, this is what they use to fund terror.
Absolutely. The other thing that Harris is demanding is that the Israelis let the Red Cross in to evaluate the status of Hamas terrorists. Well, under international law, they're unlawful combatants. There's no legal requirement for the Red Cross to visit them. But you notice there's no similar urge
for the
to Hamas to send the Red Cross in to determine the status of Israeli and American prisoners in that part of the world. Again, it all comes back to electioneering for one state, and that's Michigan.
Which brings me to that point. Yes, the proof of life has never been, really pushed. But are these hostages in greater danger, some say, because of Sinwar's, being taken out? Or is there, you believe, hope for them to be let go, freed?
Well, I think the bottom line, Bianca, is a serious one. It's not a diplomatic pathway, which is what this administration is trying to push. It is the elimination of Hamas and Hezbollah. Remember, these aren't European countries going at each other and then there's some agreement reached in a hall of mirrors. This is a zero-sum game, and the zero sum is the elimination of the state of Israel and all Jews. And if you look at it that way, then you can't put the brakes on Netanyahu's desire to eliminate these two Iranian-backed forces.
And as he clearly said yesterday, the war is not over and Hamas will not be allowed to rule Gaza. His words directly yesterday. Secretary Wilkie, a pleasure to have you, sir. Thank you.
Good to see you.